right, there we are. What's going on, Mr. Shane?
Not much. Busy time of year. I know it is for you too.
It's been a little crazy on your end, I know for sure. It's been probably a couple months since we've done this. Sorry, guys. Just it's been no way to get this get this put together with everything that's happening. But good to be back. I want to hang out with you a bit. That's always something to look forward to when everything else is stressful and all this kind of stuff. But
That's it. I desperately need the escape that is baseball cards right now. So this is great.
it is the best. And this is ball card banter number 9, I do believe.
Woohoo.
Back here with my buddy Shane, just talking baseball cards. This one, we're just having some fun looking at 10 cards that are under $25. Some of them far under that, but just having fun with the cards in our hobby and our collections. And then we'll do a random 5 at the end after some fun trivia. But we always like to start off with a shout out to a new-ish or not even new-ish channel. And why don't you go first on that? Let us know who you've been enjoying.
So I want to shout out Overthinking Baseball Cards, which is a collaboration between Dave of Iowa Dave Sports Cards and my buddy Jason over at Contrarian Cards, who I've shouted out before. It's kind of like a podcast format. There is some visual, but they just dive into, I think, once a month, different topics. They've done one on Shohei Ohtani, one on the most recent World Series, and then the episode they just did, which I really enjoyed, was a breakdown or a ranking of the designs from 2001 to present day from Topps, like the flagship designs. So just really good content. 2 guys that are like very analytical collectors. They kind of get like way down deep into the weeds, and I really, really enjoy it. So can't recommend them enough. They've got like maybe half a dozen episodes out so far, but highly recommended. Overthinking Baseball Cards. Great name too.
Yeah, we all do. So it's a collaboration. Do you know how often they do that, or?
I think it's monthly. So they've been at it for a few months now, and they have maybe 5 or 6 episodes out there. So.
Okay, very cool, very cool. Well, mine is going to be for one of the many gift givers that I haven't given credit and shown the gifts lately. We have just been too busy, but one of these days I'm going to make a video, and several people have just sent me some amazing stuff. But our good buddy Adam, he from Oregon, is started a new channel, and I didn't even know it until Shane told me recently. I don't think Adam had told me, but either way, I just subbed today, and it looks really, really cool, man. He's already off and running like a pro. So his channel is Pinson to Flood for the Win. So at Pinson to Flood for the Win, a la Veda Pinson, Kurt Flood. So that is a cool name for a channel. He's already got a logo, got quite a few videos up already. Looks like he is rocking and rolling. Has his own custom slabs, so I'd love to see that. And I have some now because he's super awesome and sent me some. So yes, he will be one of the guys I'll be revealing some sweet gifts from very soon. But he started his own channel, which is great. Now we get more interaction other than just comments or however else we try to communicate with everybody. So that's super awesome. So go see Adam, go sub him up, and then also Shane.
Overthinking Baseball Cards.
Overthinking, yeah. I was thinking Contrarian again. Overthinking Baseball
Overthinking
Cards.
Baseball Cards.
Okay, so cool collaboration there. Sounds like a something Dylan would love with the long format,
Right.
Well, you listen while you work kind of stuff. So that's super awesome.
And I think Adam's channel is a great segue into our kind of topic or theme for tonight too, because he focuses on a lot of like non-Hall of Fame players, some lower end cards as far as cost goes, things like that. He just really appreciates those type of cards as well. So
the cards like we do, yeah, I love that, man. That's what the hobby's all about. We don't need to have the craziest TO206 PSA 8s in our collection to enjoy, which is kind of what this show has always been about. And we have our random 5, appreciation 5, just for that reason. It looks like he collects several sports too, so will appeal to all. But yeah, go sub all those guys up. That's super, super cool. But we're going to do showing 10 cards here that are under 25. Some of these are way under $25, but just stuff that we enjoy. It could have a good image. It could just be someone we like. It could be whatever. But why don't you kick us off with the first card there?
Sure. So I haven't been buying a lot recently just because I've been so busy. I've had very little time. But the one thing that I have been on the hunt for constantly, and I know you appreciate them as well, it's buyback season for the Advent calendar. So I figured we'd start off with one of those. And this is a cheap one that I picked up just to fit the theme.
Oh,
It was
nice.
honestly like, I think $2, maybe $3. It's from the 2022 Topps Update set originally, and then it was stamped, as you can see here, for the Advent buyback program this year. So the second year in a
Yep.
row that they've done these. And I picked this because I love the feat. This depicts Miguel Cabrera achieving the 3,000 hit milestone. And I just love the photo here, like tipping his helmet to the crowd. And I love that Topps has done this with the checklists in recent years. It's so much cooler for me to see like a highlight or a milestone or something like this on the front of a checklist card than just like the boring old, checklists that I'm used to from back in the day when I was a kid collector. So really was pumped to see this one show up in buyback format. And again, it was like $2, but just a cool card. So
Yeah, that's a super cool one there. I didn't see that one. Obviously, you've been picking up sneakily quite a few of these kind of things, and will reveal to us soon. But of course, as always, you tee me up as my very first card on top is one that you already have. Such a spectacular card, such a spectacular image, and yes, 2025 holiday buyback.
love it.
And I stole this one too. It was $3 or $4. I don't know, went off at a weird time or something, but
Sweet.
Ichiro Suzuki. That's one of the coolest shots ever.
It really is.
It's just amazing. Was this his last card?
Yeah, technically. So that was in 2018 Topps update. He has one in 2019 Topps, but it's like a short print image variation. So that's
Okay.
like his last,
Okay.
true
Regular
classic
playing
card.
days ish card. Okay. But
Yep.
yeah, it's just a beauty. And I thought about getting some form of this card at some point anyways, but when the buyback popped up and I knew you already had one, I'm like, I don't even have to tell him about it. I'm gonna grab it. And it was like I said, it was an auction and it didn't go up like they normally do at the end.
Love
But
that.
just a beautiful card. That's number one. Way, way, way under $25.
I have been trying to find the Independence Day parallel of that very card for like 3 years, and there are just not any available out there, period.
It's funny sometimes which ones dry up and some of them don't. It's weird that the same kind of numbering or rarity on certain cards, even popular players. Sometimes you see them quite often, and sometimes you just don't see them. They don't come up. They're just buried in collections or packs. I don't know, but it's
Right.
funny how that works.
Well, we'll stick with, for my second card, we'll stick with the buyback theme for a minute here, but this is not the normal run of the mill baseball buyback that I usually collect. I think I may have texted you this one, I don't remember, but I picked this one up recently. So this is originally
Yes.
a 1966 Topps Batman card. Shout out to our buddy Mookie Chilson, who I know is
Mookie.
really into these and many others as well. But this was done as part of like a non-sport set that they did back in, I think, 2013. And it was just called like Topps 75th Anniversary. And it focused on all of the non-sport sets that they had going all the way back to the 50s. I think the main set was like reprints of the actual cards, but then there were buybacks. And it's not going to come across probably in this format, but there is a very small silver, like the old school Topps logo, the vintage logo with the swoop on the T
Yep.
in silver foil on the top of this. And that's how you can tell essentially what this is. But this went up recently. I snagged it for like $20. And I just love the artwork here. I love the robot. So it's Deadly Robot is the caption here. And it's like, I don't know, it's one of those robots that just looks like the quintessential like 1950s version of a robot. And yeah, I just love the action here. And I have a small collection of these, the original ones. They're not expensive at all from 66, but I thought it was really cool to get a buyback, a Batman buyback card for the buyback PC.
Dude, and you're teeing me up again for later, not this next stuff. But when we get to our random five, we will be having something that will tie into that. That's amazing.
I
Yeah,
love
that
that we never discuss our picks ahead of time, but we always seem to be on a similar
we
wavelength.
we
So.
we don't ever. This next one is from the Upper Deck EOS collection. It's just ridiculous how cool some of the photography is. So I just like going back and looking at some of these things and appreciating them. But this one of Mattingly, I just thought it's just such shout out to Keith in the Lonely Basement, but just such a great shot. It's so cool. Just in the dark, got the wonderful looking sky there. Obviously, some lighting on him. Walter Eos was just a world class photographer, of course, sports photographer. But Just
That's
such an
awesome.
amazing image. I mean, it's cheap as dirt, but it's funny. I didn't even realize it till I was doing this. I read the back again. It said, I went to the clubhouse to try to convince Don to pose, explaining how and why I wanted to photograph him. He asked, how much do you need? I said, 2 minutes on a stopwatch. He gave me 30 bonus seconds. So he ran out there for 2.5 minutes, took this shot, and it's immortalized, but it's beautiful.
Just I love the just a little touch of the sunset there, like that. That's
The
just perfect
sunset is
timing.
there right at the perfect time. You got little spots of lights in the stadium.
Now,
And
was that? Do you know? Was that like a separate set or like a little box set or something, or was that an insert, or do
I
you know
think the
what?
EOS collection was an insert. I remember pulling them back in the day, but what was it, 92? I thought it was 93. It's 92. So yeah, way back in the day, but just beautiful stuff. Every one in this set is, but I particularly just think that Donnie is just super awesome. So that's number two.
So for my third one, I chose this one actually based on the image as well. It's not a photograph; it's actually artwork, and it's a set that was hit or miss. There's definitely some cards in it that were not that great, but this one I love. It's from the 2009 Goodwin's Champion set that Upper Deck
Okay.
did, and it's the Ichiro, and
Ah,
just an amazing image there of him, lazily swinging the bat, and you've got the Japanese flag in the background there, and just the red behind it. I mean, everything about this card, the design, it just lines up really, really beautifully. So,
yeah,
huge
that's
fan of this
wonderful.
one. And this is like a quarter box card. Like I'm pretty sure I got this out of a quarter box at a hobby shop like 10 years
Yeah.
ago. There is no monetary value to this card whatsoever, but it just is absolutely gorgeous. I don't know if there are parallels or anything that is a little bit tougher. This is just the normal everyday base card. It's not numbered. They printed a million of them, but just a
Wow.
beautiful, beautiful Ichiro card.
That's a beautiful. See, these first few just go to show you don't have to spend a ton to get just awesome cards. I had never seen that one before, so
Yep.
that is super super cool.
And
Next up, we got
another card that makes you miss the days when Upper Deck had a baseball
Upper
license.
Deck had a man. That is true, and I'm going to do that again, even though I just did it. I'm going to do it again in a couple of cards, but we got to get some Dufex in here. Team Pinnacle, it was just so awesome. This card is just such a great card. I love the design of this. This is a gold Team Pinnacle from back in the day. Wonderful position that they got Thomas in here, but just super super cool
Whew.
card. The nothing glitters like a Dufex card. It's just Pinnacle and Upper Deck I miss a lot, and Pacific, but I mean just they don't
And
make cards like this. The technology's lost, and no one's gonna spend the money to do this anymore.
once
So
again,
this,
you've done it. I always think, no matter how long I've been in the hobby, I think I know it all or I've seen it all, and that's a card
yeah,
that I have never seen in my life prior to you showing it right now. So,
to me, this was the best year of the Team Pinnacle. I just look at the baseball in the background, the gold, and by the way,
oh,
you got bags. You got bags on the back. So obviously, only one player can be the Dufex, but we got Thomas on there, but the two guys that were born on the exact same day, they were both MVPs in '94, unanimous. Jeff Bagwell, of course, to strike, and that's a subject for another day, coming up in another year. But we might be
huge.
missing some baseball, but I hope not. I hope the cooler heads prevail. But yeah, Frank Thomas, Jeff Bagwell, Team Pinnacle, super cheap card, but absolutely beautiful. I mean, it would look awesome in a Mag Pro, but I hadn't taken it out. This was in a stack of the way I prepared this. Obviously, I would have sent this to PSA years ago.
Not an accident, I'm sure, that those two subjects ended up on the same card either. Good job by whoever at Pinnacle decided to match those guys up.
Yeah, first baseman, everything, just everything about it. Just yeah, but that's a freaking cool card, and it's cheap.
I'm a huge Dufex fan, so I dig that one. I'll be searching for that one when we end the
Yeah,
episode tonight.
gotta get that one.
Your fault. Yep.
I know.
I got another basic one here that's again probably like $1 card, if that. Not difficult to find. It's just a base card from the 1980s, but it's the
Oh
Carlton Fisk,
yes,
the in action
OPG.
from 82 tops. And this, oh, sorry, O-Pee-Chee in this case, yeah,
Yeah,
which is also the reason I chose it. I love
look
the
at that.
O-Pee-Chee logo with the two kids playing, in the upper corner there. And this design, this is my birth year design, so I've always been kind of partial to it. I have the full top set in a
Yeah.
binder. Love flipping through it. And it does have some similarities, which I've heard, to both the 2019 and the 2025 Topps flagship design, kind of with the curved
Mm-hmm.
element there. And
It's a callback. Yeah.
Yeah, just kind of a callback, and yeah, just a man who had so many amazing looking cards. Like his cards are, better than he even was as a player. I feel like
Yeah.
he's got so many cards that are just gorgeous from over the years, and this is one of the best. I love the action shot. I love
Yes.
the colors on the border, kind of matching nicely with the photo.
Yeah.
It just works in a lot of ways, and of course, being O-Pee-Chee, you've got the brighter,
Better,
easy to read back as well.
better
So.
back. Yeah.
Yeah, the 82 top specs are really dark and kind of rough to
Yeah.
make out. So yeah, just a fun card. I'm a hockey collector too, as you know. So kind of nice having the O-Pee-Chee tie in there. And
Yeah.
yeah,
And
another card. It's like $1 card, but it's just always been a favorite of mine.
dude, I have a PSA 9 of that, but I don't have the OPG. But I like the way they put the French like right on the front there, huh?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
In,
good point.
in
It's
action
actually
slash.
you
Yeah.
got English and French in action translation there. So
I did not know that. As much as I love that card and I have it slabbed up, I literally bought a PSA 9 for like $5 one time. I was just shocked. But I love that image. But the
yep,
OPG is super cool. And of course, 82 traded, we got the red back with the Ripken. Just beautiful stuff. just
yep.
just the best. No, that's perfect, man. I mean, I
The
could have pulled
photo, the
that card.
design, it's just one of those examples of kind of everything coming together to kind of make the perfect card.
I literally could have pulled that card. I looked right at it. I looked right at it. That would have been funny. But speaking of just ridiculously cool uh, images on cards, but the another subset type of thing from Upper Deck, the VJ Lovero collection. Amazing photography throughout this whole set. But shout out to Peeps, Josh. This he's a Nomo fan too, and I am too. But this shot from above of Nomo with his tornado wind up is just fantastic.
Oh, that's killer.
You talk about a cheap card, but it's just awesome. You never see that angle.
Right.
He's about to start coming back forward. The
Yeah, this is
tornado
the
delivery.
mid '90s, so this is pre-drone era. That's
Yeah,
an
yeah,
interesting
exactly.
angle.
Just a really, really cool shot there from above. The most unique tornado delivery. No one's ever had one exactly like him. Kind of like Fernando. There's people that have just done their thing, and no one else has really. It wouldn't even be good to replicate it, honestly. But they were awesome with it. He still did one of my favorite feats of all time, throwing a no hitter in Coors Field. That's impossible.
Oh yeah, when he came over, it was right at like the height of my childhood baseball fandom, and I had multiple pages in my kid, baseball binder dedicated to Nomo cards. And then later he pitched for the Red Sox, so later on in life. So
Worked out really well. But yeah, what a beautiful card. Super cheap, but awesome.
well, this one's going back to right around that time period, but this is a minor league card actually. And it's Nick Johnson, who did have a decent MLB career. He played for a while,
Yeah.
but the reason I have this and the reason I chose this is a card from his time with the AA Norwich Navigators. And they played in Norwich, Connecticut. And it was their stadium was about 20 minutes from the home that I grew up in Northeast Connecticut. And so we would go oftentimes on summer nights and catch AA games. It was just really nice, new, clean stadium, no bad seat in the house. You could roll up the night of the game and buy a ticket for $5. Hot dogs are $2, and
Yeah.
we were again right at that impressionable baseball age, like right in the mid '90s when they started as like the AA team for the New York Yankees. So there was a lot of hype around them, and I used to love those summer nights, just going and watching those games. They would do fireworks after the game and stuff like that. But he was one of the big players on the early Norwich Navigators, and I just love this on-card auto that features him signing autographs for fans, in that Navigators uniform. Like this could have very well been like me and my brother, one row behind this guy that's currently
Yeah.
getting his baseball signed. So I'm always a fan of autographed cards that show a player in the act of signing autographs.
Me too.
And then this one has that kind of special nostalgia for me, just being that random minor league team. There are not many Norwich Navigator cards out there, but I have a bunch of them, and that one's one of my favorites.
And he was the guy at the time. Like that was the rookie card he wanted to go after. We just thought he was going to be a giant star, and he was a good player.
They had some big players, and then a couple of years after him, Soriano came through town, Alfonso Soriano, and he was like a huge deal when he was playing with them. So
Yeah. Speaking of awesome players, man, that guy was something else. But yeah, that's super cool. I love autograph cards of showing them doing autograph, but that one being autographed is even kind of cooler. I know we've
And
talked about it.
despite being an on-card auto, it's again like a $1, $1 or $2 card. So
Super cheap to even pick up. But I know we've talked about it before, but wouldn't it be cool to be that guy in the sunglasses there and be immortalized on a card? Just any
right,
card. I don't
I
care what.
I wonder how many people out there have found themselves like that. And
Yeah.
being a hockey collector, I always used to think of it too because they every shot you would catch the first 2 or 3 rows of the stands right behind the glass. And back in the day, nowadays they blur some of the faces, I think, or kind of wash them out. But back then, like you could make out every person, and I would always wonder like how many people out there ever found themselves on an actual sports card.
It would be so cool. There's way more people that didn't. There's no doubt. But if
Yep.
they did just accidentally run into it, it would be fantastic. This one is super cool. Speaking of just missing Pacific and all the innovation and all that kind of stuff, this was Pacific Aurora from back in the 90s. And this is a die cut card called Cell Fusion, I believe. But this is a red of Jeff Bagwell, but it's super cool because this is all die cut here on this side. So you got the normal rectangular shape over here, and then it's die cut out here. So when you were pulling stuff out of packs, you never knew with Pacific what was coming. But this was in Pacific Aurora. This was the Cell Fusion. There, I think there's a Griffey and all the usual suspects in here. But just really, really neat cards. All the innovation they did, the baseball with the stitches, and just that whole side is just rounded off. And they had all the different colors way before anybody else had a rainbow. Pacific had a rainbow. Just they started almost everything from foil to you name it. They just had such awesome innovation from him. But that red parallel is a tough one, and just super cool, super cheap card, super
Nice.
cheap, but really really cool die cut that you don't really ever see on YouTube. So
That
I had
that
to
would have
show
been
it.
probably like late '90s or so.
Late 90s, yeah,
Yep.
98, 99, something like that. It's dark on the back, but yeah, super super cool card. I will do a video someday on Pacific because there's hundreds of different types of cards like this that people just don't know about. And I've kind of chose Bagwell as my guy to have one of each of. If I see one I had never got before, I get one of him just so I can have kind of a run of all these different cool cards. And that's
Love
one,
it.
just super cool.
Perfect. All right. Well, this is one going back to the '80s now, and again, it's one that for me has just a lot of nostalgia tied into it. This
Ah,
is the '88 starting lineup, Tim Raines,
yeah,
and for me, I don't know if this was the case for you. I don't know if I've ever asked you, but I was a kid right when these were at like the height of their
yep,
popularity, and like I still remember going with my friend and his mom, her driving us all over town, checking different big box stores, trying to find certain players, or seeking out Ken Griffey Jr. and a couple of years after this. But as
yep,
far as the card that comes with the figure, this was my favorite design that they ever did in '88. I love the red, white, and blue theme. I love
mhm,
how it matches the expos here so well.
yep,
Great photograph. And I think I should have double checked it, but I believe 99% sure this is a one card complete team set. I think he was the only Montreal Expo that was done
yeah,
up for '88 starting lineup. So, but it's as much about the memories of collecting the figures as it is the card here for me because I was
yeah,
one of those who like the
absolutely,
walls of my childhood bedroom were plastered with still in the
yeah,
box starting lineups all tacked up and
yep.
just a lot of memories tied up in those. So
Yeah, you had to leave them in the box, and you could have a perfect little place for a thumbtack. You hang it on there.
yeah, they were going to
Those
make us rich later when we got into our 40s
They
and
were.
50s. So
They were going to make us super rich. Then McFarlane came out with all the realistic stuff and kind of killed it. But yeah, 95 was like the peak because Ripken was doing his thing, and all of a sudden people realized the 88s were the rookie of everybody's starting lineup. And Nolan Ryan, Ripken, those guys that were in the 88 set. I mean, it was $600 raw to get one. Now you can get one for a fraction of that. But yeah, in the peak they were really expensive. Those old ones. But I loved them. I love starting lineup. They were super innovative for their time, and of course, coming with the card kind of made it extra cool, right?
yeah, and there was it was the pre-internet era, so there was kind of like the thrill of the chase with starting lineup. Like you couldn't just bring up your computer, go on Amazon.com, and add a Ken Griffey Jr. to your cart and ship it home. You're calling around to different stores to find out what they have or when they're going to restock their inventory. And there was definitely a challenge element to trying to find these things out in the wild. So
Dude, I did that. I wanted the 2131, and I mean, you're trying to go to Toys R Us back then,
right.
and you're trying to find when they're going to get their shipment because they'll buy them immediately, and they're gone. And of course, if they're once eBay started, they'd just be a lot more on there than they were on the shelf. So, but yeah, that was a fun time. It was a fun time when people love those things. Now, it's not as much, but if they're super high grade or something, they still got some value, of course. But super
I don't
cool.
have the room these days or the desire to collect the figures, but I do still love having a few of the cards just as kind of a throwback to that time.
It's a throwback. Yeah, I know. I need to get some of the Ryans and Ripkins again, just for good old time's sake. But I've got another one that's upper deck. I didn't even realize it, but yeah, this is a Home Run All Stars hologram with it's just super cool. This whole set is cool, but the Griffey is probably my favorite. But here's the back. But you got the brick layout on the border there. But on the front, the brick is super cool and kind of textured, and then you got the picture of Griffey with the gold signature, and then the hologram. Just a beautiful card.
Love that card.
You can pick up that hologram there, but something super cheap of Griffey. And when you see it in real life, it's got some decent depth. It's not one of the moving type of holograms. It's just the 3D kind of effect. But this picture's super cool. Him taking batting practice, and you got the gold signature. The bricks just kind of make it feel like a ballpark, and then you got the hologram, which I'm a huge fan of. There's not enough of those these days.
I don't think I've mentioned it to you, but I've actually randomly, I can't believe you picked this one. I've been on a little bit of a hologram kick lately. Hopefully show
They're
some
the
on my
best.
channel soon, but they were fantastic. Yeah.
They're fantastic, and I'm telling you, a PSA 8 is a 10. I mean, if you get an 8, that's the top of the top on a hologram. It's
Oh yeah. If you looked at those things sideways, like 3 scratches would form on the surface. It was just brutal.
Yeah, because I tried to get to all the old upper deck, with the Hank Aaron and all those Ted Williams, all those ones we pulled out of packs in the early '90s. But yeah, just finding an 8 is tough. it's like super hard. But yeah, those are awesome.
All right. Well, this next one is way out there in terms of not really fitting the players I collect or anything, but it does kind of fit my collection. So this is a 2021 Independence Day. This is Robbie Ray, pitcher for the Toronto Blue Jays. And the only reason I have this card is because he was the Cy Young winner for the American League, believe it or not, in 2021. Put that on your trivia scorecard.
Yes.
Robbie Ray.
Yeah.
So this is probably the only card that I'll ever own of him. I don't really have any good reason to have him in my collection. I have zero memory of watching him pitch, but I love this parallel, and I stumbled across this for, again, like $3 or $4. And I'm a big fan of cards that coincide with like a big year for a player or an award or a feat or a milestone. And so this is really probably the only year that I would want a Robbie Ray card from, just to kind of signify that Cy Young. And again, it was like, despite being a serial numbered parallel below 100, because of the fact that almost nobody collects this guy or talks about him or cares about him, was like a $3 pickup sometime within the last year here. So
yeah, exactly. And what better to have a Canadian team on a United States type of card with 76. That's pretty awesome. I love those cards. Of course, they change the design dramatically year to year. You never know what you're going to get, but yeah,
it's one of the things that's actually gotten better in the era of Fanatics here, despite all of our valid complaints about Fanatics buying out tops. They have done a better job with the Independence Day parallel like the last 2 years. So
yeah, they've made a comeback. I don't know if they'll ever top 2018, which is ironic since it's the first, but it looks so cool. The whole back. They need to do something again with the whole background.
Exactly.
They need to stop the border only thing at least for 1 year and give us something awesome. But yeah, Independence Day with the Canadian team, that's classic. This one here, I don't remember what I paid for it. It was probably around $25. It's not a super cheap $2 card, but the Topps Chrome Craig Biggio card, but it's got Bonds sliding in there. And it's crazy how hard these things are to find now. Some of these refractors are just brutal. 90s or early 2000s. It's just, not numbered cards.
Right.
Just super hard. And of course, you know how it was with the hulking early on, and then the centering was just awful on the chromes back in the 90s and in that era. But this one's really nice and just super cool how you got Bond sliding in there with the dirt kicking up, and you got the etching around all of that, and Biggio about to turn a double play there. But
what a copy too. It even looks well centered, which is not always the case for a lot of those. Yep.
Yeah, they're all so bad centered. I finally had saw this one. I don't know what I paid for it, but it wasn't a lot, but it wasn't like a $2 card, of course. But the fact that it's got bonds and stuff there, it's just extra appeal, you know?
Yeah, and a level of shine that we don't get for the most part, with a couple of
Yeah.
exceptions. 29 years later here.
Yeah. Exactly. Exactly.
Well, you lined me up perfectly for this next one because I have one more Independence Day card, but this
Nice.
one does feature. This is one of the years where they did the design across the whole
Okay.
card and not just the border. So we got the 2019 Steven Strasburg here, and you also kind of teed me up because this is the complete opposite of Toronto Blue Jay. We got the Washington Nationals,
Washington.
the most U.S. named team in existence that played
Yeah.
in D.C. or plays in D.C. And he's even wearing like the alternate jersey here that has like the red, white, and blue
Yes.
American flag W there. You can't really make it out too well, but this is again another big year. This was like, kind of the height of like Strasburg mania. I remember what a
Oh,
giant deal this guy was in the hobby. And he
oh
actually
yeah.
had a pretty good career despite his injuries, even though he didn't
Yeah.
obviously live up to the impossible hype that was put out there when he started. But just the perfect card. I love the Washington Nationals on this parallel in particular. And just to kind of tie it back to the Robbie Ray and big seasons, this is, of course, the year that they won the World Series. And Strasburg was the World Series MVP that year. He had like a
Boo!
yeah, he had like a Yamamoto like performance, I think, where he came back out of the
Oh
bullpen
yeah.
in Game
Oh yeah.
7, even though he had just pitched. So if I was going to have one Strasburg card, he's not a guy I collect. Once again, this is probably my only card of the man, but to me, it's like the perfect card to represent him in my collection, and I don't
Yeah.
really need any other Steven Strasburg if I have this one.
And he was the man back way before that. That was toward the end, and he just made this weird resurgence. And but like once again, that's the second year of Independence Day. They were still
Yep.
doing it really right. But yeah, so we were the far superior team, but just timely pitching, things like that. Just it was what it was, you know.
That's it.
But he was just dominant. I mean, just completely dominant. Another one with just a crazy image that I just love. But these perspectives cards are so cool. But I think the Ozzy might be my favorite with Ozzy Smith bunting here. But
Love it.
shout out to all of our Cardinal loving friends, John, Joe, all those guys. But yeah, that's just it's just such a cool card. It's like another unique perspective on things, and then the way they put their name there with the shadow. It's just I really like the way they did these cards, and a lot of them are cool. But you can see he's just bunting that ball right there, and he's running out of the box.
I remember collecting some of those inserts when that set came out, and you're right. There is literally not a bad looking card in that entire insert set.
No,
And that one actually kind of matches that Nomo nicely. It's similar, above perspective from above there. Pretty
coming
cool.
from above, which is rare. I mean, it's just you don't see cards like that a lot, but that just takes you right into the action.
Yeah, look
Super
how far
cheap.
he's halfway out of the box already.
Yeah, I mean, he was a hustler, dude. He was going to book it down to first. He wasn't just being lazy. But yeah, he was going to try for a hit. That's not just a bunt sacrifice there. But super, super cool. Just cheap, but just amazing card.
All right. Well, this one is also kind of just chosen for, I guess, for a combination of the image and the shine in this case. But this is a Donruss release, I think, from 2023. But
Oh
it's Pete
yes,
Rose. So it's done. It's a throwback to kind of that 1990 Donruss
90.
design. You
Yes,
got the red. I think they did different colors of this, but the red is the way to go. I mean, that was the color of the original Donruss set. It's a team color match for the
yes,
Reds. The image is perfect. It's got great shine in the background, as you can see here. And I love, Panini has done a really good job in recent years of picking images where it hides the fact that it's not a licensed baseball card. Like just the way he's turned at the plate here,
yes.
seeing the rose and number 14 on the back. You don't see the front of the jersey, the front of the helmet, or anything that would kind of give you a clue that this is unlicensed. So I love it. And this is, of course, from an era where like maybe it'll change going forward now that he's kind of Hall of Fame eligible again. But during this era, there wasn't really any Pete Rose product from Topps for us to really collect. So I'm glad that Panini made this card in 2023 because I do like, collecting retired greats on modern designs. And this was like a $2 card on ComC. It's actually serial numbered to 2023 to the year of production. So there's over 2,000 of these out there. Not a tough card to come by at all, but just Very, very aesthetically pleasing Pete Rose.
That just is. You have the other one with the, you have a whole page of them.
Yeah, the 2023 Prism card, which I think might be the same image, but is cropped out a little bit further.
That's what I was going to ask you, if it's a similar image or if it's the same.
It's very close, and it may even be exactly the same. But yeah, just really, really good. Panini just does the shine, almost more similar to what Topps did back in the 90s, like that Biggio that we just saw, like shiny on a level that I wish we would see from Fanatics more often.
I love the throwback stuff they're doing too. And of course, 90 Donruss is just super, super up my alley. That's right when I started. Love it just as much as the Topps. But we were talking about these pitching prospects, and it just reminded me of something I looked up a while back. It does not make any sense. So Todd Van Poppel, he was the guy, and okay, he flamed out, and he never pitched, or he pitched like a couple years. How many years do you think Todd Van Poppel pitched?
If I had to guess off the top of my head, I'd say like 5 or 6, maybe.
He pitched a part of 15 years. He was on Cincinnati in 2004.
Whoa.
91,
would not have guessed that in a million years.
91 to 2004. I would have lost everything betting on that. But I saw that the other day, and I'm like, Todd Van Poppel, he pitched 91 to 2004. I mean, not a whole lot each time. Like he didn't have a bunch of wins and all that kind of stuff. But I mean, I literally just remember him flaming out like in 92, and that we never heard from him again. But
now you're going to send me down the rabbit hole tonight. I'm going to be trying to find out when his last card was, or how many cards he had in the 2000s.
Dude, I know, that's exactly where my mind went. I'm like, I want to know when his last card was. Did he show up on the cards with some of these teams that he was barely with?
Right.
Tons of different teams, a whole bunch of different teams over like 15 years.
I bet you he may not have many cards from the 2000s, because how it goes. They need to make room for new rookies and prospects. So those kind of like relief guys, or guys who aren't appearing often, they don't always get cards. So
I wouldn't have been surprised to see him 4 or 5 years in the minor league stats or something. But I mean, I literally feel like this is revisionist history, and this is like Mandela effect stuff going on here, because
I mean, I figured that's where you were going with it, so I shot high, guessing
you went high.
I thought 6 years was shooting high, but man,
I can't believe it. I literally can't believe it. Okay, second to last one. Just rest in peace, Ricky. But these Panini Black Fridays from 2018 are just ridiculous, and these are just awesome. So they got the gradient black border coming into the kind of rainbow foil center. This is after he stole the base, of course, the greatest of all time. But just super cool. These are the base ones that are to $199.
What a card.
When you find them, you can pick them up usually under $25. But just what an awesome card. What an awesome card. Shout out to Dean, Goodman and West 238th, all our other Ricky lovers out there, Rev Steve. But yeah, just a beautiful card.
Instantly recognizable moment there.
Instantly recognizable moment. He was so happy to get that base. And I've talked about it before, but I mean, he loved Muhammad Ali, and and all he was doing was he just said it once, I'm the greatest of all time. Muhammad Ali would just yell, I'm the greatest all the time, and people loved him for it. And then they just hated Ricky for it. It was the weirdest thing. It just hurt his feelings, because he didn't mean it that way. But yeah, it was a great moment, of course. And then Nolan stole his thunder.
Even looking back on it now, though, I mean, I would still say it's everybody's personal preference, but to me, he's the greatest leadoff hitter of all time. If I'm forming an all-time lineup, he's my leadoff guy. There's no question about it.
Best leadoff hitter, home run leadoff guy, stolen base guy. Yeah, I mean, he just
what more could you ask
disrupted everything.
Yep.
People like Ellie De La Cruz now are trying to be that kind of player in a world where just sitting back and trying to hit a home run is kind of the thing. Of course, he's got a bunch of power too, but yeah, Ricky was the man. He'd crouch down. He'd have no strike zone whatsoever. He'd get a ton of walks. But yeah, that card there is awesome.
Stealing bags when the bases were like a third the size of what they are today.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
My last one is, again, just another like a sub $10 card, and another one that makes me miss Upper Deck. This is pretty cool. So in 2007, their flagship Upper Deck baseball set, they did these throwbacks that were redesigns of the original like 1989 Upper Deck set, but they had players like from the past, retired stars, almost like what you see in Stadium Club or something. And this is the Babe Ruth. And he's got that amazing home run crown on here. Great black and white photo. And of course, that iconic 89 Upper Deck design that so many of us remember from growing up and collecting as
Yes.
kids. And they did these so well that they even did proper, designed backs, just like the original, with different photos and the stats. You got the hologram on there. I mean, this is a fairly true approximation of what an 89 Upper Deck card looked like. And I feel like nowadays, if somebody made a throwback set like this, it would probably have the same generic back with some language on it or something. But I love when they take the time to really go through top to bottom, front to back, and make the card look as much like the original set that it's paying tribute to as possible. And they certainly did that with these. And if you have like a team you collect or a retired star that you're into, I would highly recommend checking these inserts out. They're from 2007 Upper Deck again, and I think they're just called like 1989 Upper Deck or 89 reprints or something like that. But maybe like 40 or 50 people on the checklist, and all the greats from back in the day. Everybody from like Casey Stengel to Satchel Paige and all the big names, and just really, really cool photographs, just like you see here with Babe Ruth. So
Yeah, that's
just
a
a fun
fantastic.
card.
Yeah, and they didn't jack with the hologram on the back. It looks just right. Yeah, that's super awesome. Of course, that classic photo with the babe and the crown is just super awesome. We've talked about these finest timelines before, and we've gotten some gold refractors of Maris, and and there's just some fantastic ones. The Speech of Lou Gehrig, stuff like that. It's a great set, and they have the the radio call on the front, of whatever moment they're showing. But this one's a blue refractor of Nolan, and it's a no hitter, but just super cool looking. Color match. This one actually is 99 of 99, so it's a bookend. But
Love
yeah, I
that.
mean, it probably was, 25. I mean, this was not a $5 card, but it wasn't the price of a gold refractor either, since there's 50 of those and 99 of these. But I really wanted to get the blue on him just because the color match just works so well. But if you have a favorite player or a favorite moment that's in this set, I definitely suggest going to buy the base one at least. It's just so cool to have the call down here and have the moment kind of being relived. But I think the blue refractor for Nolan is just fantastic.
Any photo where the subject is getting hoisted onto his teammate's shoulders in celebration gets like extra bonus points from me too.
How fun is that? Yeah,
And I think I'm almost positive they actually continued that insert set in the next year of Finest. I think there's a whole second wave of those now, and be nice to see that continue into the future because it's a really great concept.
I certainly hope so because I think it's well done. It's just a beautiful design too. I mean, it's just really well done the way they did it with the banner and stuff. So yeah,
There's an
I'm a
Aaron
big fan.
Judge in the second year of home run number 62, and I've been desperately trying to find the right one to pair with the Maris from the year prior, but I haven't picked it up just yet. But
Not yet. Okay, yeah, definitely have to keep looking because there's certain moments you just want to be able to capture. All right, before we get to our random five, we're not doing the grid this time. We're doing some other trivia, which is super fun.
you lost like 15 subscribers when we tried grid last time, probably.
Join the club. No, but now we're going to be talking about war. So this is right up your alley with war. But we'll go back to from 1900 to today, and we'll go by decade, which is super cool and a super fun way to think about this. Who was the highest war of each decade? And you got your warlords that are per year, and
Right.
of course, but who accumulated the most war within each of these decades is just fascinating. Honestly, it really is. Some of them you can guess because there's guys that were dominating and stuff. But who do you think from 1900 to 1909?
Oh man, that's a tough one.
It's interesting. And it's not close.
I feel like that's too early for Wagner or Cobb or.
You should stick to your guns.
Yeah. All right. I'll go with Wagner.
Wagner.
Yep.
Wagner.
I was thinking maybe, but
It's not even close. He's 85.8 in that decade, and
whoa,
Nap Lajoie was 69 and a half. Just
man.
a giant drop off.
Imagine that. That's like averaging 9 war seasons for the entire decade. Yeah.
Yeah. So the T206 printed right at the end of this. he was I mean, forget the fact that it's a rare card. He was the guy. Period. I mean, crushing it. Okay, what about pitcher?
Oh man, that's a tough one. Walter Johnson, maybe.
Not yet. This is Cy Young. So
Okay.
he had a 75.4. Christy Mathewson was 67.7. And then you got Rube Waddell, Eddie Plank, and down from there. But like number three, Honus Wagner and Nap Lajoie, you can kind of say, okay, that makes sense. But Bobby Wallace was three on the hitting side.
No chance I would have gotten that. Yeah.
Impossible. 1910, 1919.
Cobb, maybe.
God,
Yep.
it's really not super close. Would you take a stab at number two?
Man.
It's a little bit of a drop off, but still really strong. The next two are really strong. I'll just tell you, it's Tris Speaker.
Oh, I should have known. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
obvious. There should have been obvious.
76 and a half, and Eddie Collins 73 and a half. Then it drops off a lot to Shoeless Joe. This is the easiest one and the biggest drop off in
Got to
history.
be Babe Ruth in the 20s.
No,
right?
pitchers.
Oh, pitcher. Is that Christy Mathewson? No. Walter Johnson. I was one decade earlier. Yeah.
He had, and of course he has the highest single season WAR of anybody in any modern anything during this decade. So, but he had 107.8 in one decade.
Whoa.
Yeah, and you get number two
Guys.
is Pete Alexander, 68.7.
Wow.
So
Almost double.
It drops 40. I mean, just unbelievable. Walter Johnson was the absolute man. Just ridiculous. But yeah, so Ty Cobb, Walter Johnson would be your 1910s guys there. It's just crazy. Moving right along, some of these are just, I mean, they're fascinating to me. I love this kind of stuff. But yeah, so we're getting into the 20 to 29.
It's got to be Ruth, right?
This one's another super easy one. Yeah, your hitter is going to be Babe Ruth, 102.3. So almost Walter Johnson territory. Take a stab at number two.
Man. Two. I don't think he played enough for it to be Gehrig.
That's exactly right. It's not.
Is it?
Because of that?
Yeah.
I think we'll see him later.
Not sure.
93.2 Rogers Hornsby.
Oh, so, okay. That makes sense.
Very strong. Still one of the best decades ever of anybody.
Yeah, I mean, you don't see most players reach 90 or 100 in their career for getting a single decade. Yeah, that's insane.
But it happened to be Babe Ruth put up 102.3, and he couldn't win the decade. And then it drops way down to 56 with Harry Heilman. I mean, way down. If you get the pitcher, you get mega points because I would have never had it.
I'm struggling. Most of the guys I'm thinking of from the pitching perspective came either before or after this.
How about Dazzy Vance?
Wow, I've heard the name, but again, there's no chance I would have spit that out.
No way. 50.1, so half of what Walter was doing the previous decade.
That's because Babe Ruth was probably damaging his WAR every time they faced the Yankees.
Exactly. So now we're into the 30s. Now you could probably get that one.
Probably Gehrig. Yep.
But it is by the slimmest of margins ever, like 0.2. Who do you think that second one is?
Fox, maybe?
You nailed it.
Yep.
Those guys were, and Mel Ott was not far behind that. So Gehrig, Fox, Ott, and then it goes to Gehringer and down. But yeah, those are the guys. What do you think about pitching in the 30s?
Man, Lefty Grove, maybe?
But nailed it. Lefty Grove. And it's a big win. It's 80.8. The next guy's 56 at Carl Hubble. So Lefty
Carl
Grove
Hubble was second. No kidding.
And way down. But yeah, dominating performance by old Lefty. 40s you should get.
Musial? No. He actually Ted Williams? No, he missed even with some missed time.
Yes. Ted Williams, your guy, Boston legend. 65.8. Lou Boudreau was 59.9. Then Musial at 57.6. So Teddy
Honestly,
Ball
the
Game.
second place guys are as amazing to me. Like I would not have guessed Lou Boudreau would
I
be.
know. Over Musial.
Wow.
Then Joe Gordon is over Joe DiMaggio. And we know what DiMaggio was doing in the 40s. So
Right.
DiMaggio was number 5, but Ted Williams, even with everything else, crushing everybody. Pitcher in the 40s, I would not have got for sure.
Yeah, I don't even know who I'd guess here. Showing my
I
pre-war weakness here.
I
Yep.
would have guessed Feller, but
That's a good guess.
he is number 2. Feller is number 2, but I would not have guessed this other guy was dominating him because it's not even close. Feller had a 38.3. This other guy had 54.1. Hal Newhouser.
No kidding.
Yes.
Definitely familiar with him, but would not have guessed that in a million
I
years.
just wouldn't have guessed. This is one of my favorite ones here is the 50s.
I'm thinking maybe Mantle.
Mantle.
Yeah, I thought so.
Yes. Yes.
He
Even
had
with
some
May,
big years. Yeah.
everybody's saying Mays is better, all this kind of stuff. Mantle had the war, 68.1. I'll tell you right now that Mays is 3 at 58.8. Who do you think 2?
Oh,
This is
could it
this
be
is
Ted Williams again? No,
Stan the man.
Stan.
So you
Makes
got
sense.
Mantle, Musial, Mays, and then Duke Snyder. So you got the Willie Mickey and the
Oh, all
Duke
right.
right there, and then Musial kind of breaking them up a little bit. This is a fun one, and I've heard this one before from people that talk about him being underrated, but pitcher in the 50s.
It's not Spawn, is it? Warren Spawn.
He's number 2.
All right, close.
Spawn is 2. Billy Pierce, early win, so forth, so forth. But number 1 is a guy that's not super hot in the hobby, and I've heard people talk about that before. But he had the best WAR in all of the 50s of
Whitey
any
Ford.
pitcher. So that's another
No.
one I would have thought he's not even on here. But Robin Roberts.
Oh, yep. I'm kind of kicking myself for not coming up with that one. Yeah, I never
Robin
think of
Roberts.
him.
He had a
Apologies to Phillies fans.
60.5.
Yeah.
60.5. I know. 60.5 is crazy. All right, the 60s you can probably guess.
It's got to be Mays at that point.
Yeah, but it's not a huge drop off to number 2 and another all-time great, but
Aaron.
yes. So Mays and Aaron, you got 84.2 and 81. So they were way
Oh,
up there.
wow. Neck and neck.
So dropping down to 66.4, you had Clemente, which is interesting. He was number 3 in the whole decade. And then Frank Robinson, Mr. Triple Crowns. I mean, he was even below Clemente. I would have never guessed number 5 above Brooks Robinson and your man Carl Yastrzemski and Al Kaline, Harmon Killebrew, and Willie McCovey. Number 5 is Ron Santo.
Wow.
What?
Okay.
Yeah, I would not have got that one. The pitcher, I would have lost all money on this one, even though he's an all-time great, Hall of Famer, all that stuff.
Well,
Number 2 and 3, I would have guessed way before this guy.
is Marichal on the mix? Juan Marichal?
Marichal's number 1.
He is. Yeah. I know he was the
Marichal.
winningest pitcher in the 60s, so I figured maybe.
Yeah. So Bob Gibson and Koufax were 2 and 3 underneath Marichal. Just crazy.
How close was Koufax, though? You got to wonder if he didn't hang up the spikes after, 66, if he would have maybe gotten there.
That's the thing. You got the 3 years there. You got the 3 years there that he missed, but he got 55.3, 54.2, and then Koufax was a 47.9 because of that reason. And then Bunning, Drysdale, so forth, so on. But I did not think Juan Marichal had over Bob Gibson. I wouldn't have, because they both played all years. I would not have thought.
Right.
But yeah, crazy. So Mays and Marichal, both Giants.
Nailed the 60s.
You nailed it. You nailed it big time. 70s. And this one isn't really that close either, interestingly enough.
It's not Joe Morgan, is it?
It's Joe Morgan.
Is it? Yeah, I had a feeling because I know he was the leader for a couple of years there, so I figured it was as good a guess as anybody.
And which teammate was number 2?
Pete Rose?
Nope.
No.
That's number 6, though.
Number 6.
Pete Rose is number 6.
Oh, I can't believe I'm spacing out on this.
Bench.
Oh, that worked. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense.
So Morgan and Bench were number 1, but Morgan had 67 and Bench 58.9. Then you got Rod Carew. Reggie Jackson's 5, 6 is Pete Rose, and Mike Schmidt, Bobby Bonds, Sal Bando, Bobby Gooch. But Number 4 surprised me. We know a guy in the community with his same first name. Greg Nettles was number 4.
What?
What? Yeah, 54.5. Not that far behind Rod Carew, but yeah, Morgan, Bench, Carew, and Nettles were the first 4 in WAR in the 70s. I
He's
could not
probably
have bet.
gonna not be friends with me anymore after this, and I apologize to Greg, but I didn't even realize his career WAR was even over 50. So
I know. It's nuts. He must have gone negative WAR in the years beyond. You know how that works with
right,
WAR.
it can. Yeah, if you hang out too long, you can start
And
damaging
actually,
yourself in the twilight years.
that's the problem. I heard a stat the other day about Griffey, and we'll get to some other trivia next time we do this. So I don't want to ruin all that, but Griffey had a +10 WAR, +10 defensive WAR the first half of his career, and he had a -9 WAR the second half of his career. He wiped out almost all of his WAR, and basically was an average player overall in the field. It's just bizarre stuff you don't hear every day. So yeah, 70s crazy. All right, pitching.
I would guess maybe like Steve Carlton.
I thought he would be up there. He's 7, which is
7.
crazy. It's
Oh,
crazy.
yeah, bomb that one.
He's crazy.
Let me think here. Seaver.
Seaver.
Yep.
So shout out to Mookie. Seaver, 67.1 WAR. I will tell you, I'll skip 2. 3 is Gaylord Perry. Then you got Burt Blyleven. Jim Palmer was 5. I would have thought he would have been up there at the very top. I thought Carlton and Palmer would have been 1, 2, 3, somewhere in there.
What
Fergie
about Gaylord
Jenkins.
Perry spitballing his way into the top 5? I
Yeah,
love it.
yeah,
Yep.
he got number 4 over Palmer and Fergie Jenkins and Steve Carlton. Wilbur Wood was 8. And then you got
Wow.
my man Nolan getting going finally, number 9, and Rick Russell 10. But number 3, Gaylord Perry, and I mean just stuff you wouldn't. I just didn't know. But Tom Seaver makes sense at least, so
Right.
that one makes sense. But I thought Carlton and Palmer would have been right there, 2, 3.
Same.
But number 2, who do you think it was?
For pitching in the 70s?
I wouldn't have got it. And it's 64.5. It's really strong. Way above Gaylord Perry at number 3. Phil Necro.
Wow. All right.
I didn't think of him as a WAR guy.
No, me neither.
I mean,
He's one I wonder if his dropped in the end because he hung around forever.
he was there forever. So that's just fascinating to me, man. I would have never got that. All right, 80s.
I have to go with Ricky Henderson.
Ricky Henderson.
Yep.
It's just so fascinating. It's very interesting, all the rest of them. Who do you think 2 would be?
Man.
I mean, I
probably
love
not
this
Ripken, but
I mean, he's got the massive WARs. I thought he would have been higher. He's number 7.
huh. Let me
But
think.
defensively, he's the greatest. But yeah, I got to do a video sometime on Ripken because people forget. They don't
He was
understand.
incredible. Yep.
Yeah, he was unbelievable at everything.
It's not like Jim Rice or somebody like that, right?
Wade Boggs.
Wade Boggs. I mean, I guess
So they
makes
you know they
sense.
say WAR you need homers and all this stuff. No, I mean he just super high average the whole time. Good defender, all that. But yeah, I mean Wade Boggs was number 2 to Ricky in the 80s.
Now,
Then Mike Schmidt,
is Gwynn
Mike
on
Schmidt,
there or no?
who?
Is Tony Gwynn in the mix there or no?
That's what I'm saying. He's not.
Yeah, so something about Boggs kind of, yep.
Yeah, they were
Huh.
both getting the knocks, but just I guess his defense and something else. But Schmidt, I would have thought would have been more.
Right.
Robin Yount, Alan Trammell, Ozzie Smith, of course, all defense. Ripken doing it all. George Brett, Dawson, and Dale Murphy should have just gone in the Hall of Fame, but didn't. 2-time MVP. I knew this next one just because I had studied some of this before, and I'm a fan of figuring this kind of stuff out. But I knew this one just because of that, but I would have never known it by the eye test and by just living my life and watching baseball. But who do you think the pitcher was?
Man, that's tough for the 80s. I was going to guess Nolan Ryan, but based on what you just described, there's no chance that's him. So
He made the top 10, but it was 10. But it's because our team's horrible. But yeah, number 1 is a guy there's a very good case to be made online if you watch some videos on YouTube from this one guy that he should be in the Hall of Fame.
It's not
But
like Valenzuela. Oh, Doc Gooden, maybe? Actually, he didn't come around till too late in the decade,
yeah,
probably.
Doc Gooden was 9 because he came, half the
Right,
decade. He still got in the top 10. He was kicking butt. By the way, he had the highest WAR of 1 year in the
right.
80s. So he was the Walter Johnson of of this decade. But yeah, uh, but yeah,
It's not Valenzuela, is it?
Dave Steve.
Oh, Dave Steve.
Yep,
All
Dave
right.
Steve had a 48. It drops all the way down to 38 for number 2. So it's not even close. And that's Burt Blyleven. Clemens, once again, half a decade kind of thing.
Right.
Bob Welch. Then you got Valenzuela. So Valenzuela made the top 5. Oral Hershiser, Brett Saberhagen, who was stud back then. John Tudor, I wouldn't have put in there.
No
I mean,
chance. Yeah.
John Tudor over Gooden and Ryan. I don't.
Plus,
I
with
would have
Ryan
never
playing
got
the whole decade, too. Yeah, that's crazy.
unbelievable. 1990s. Then we're getting into our era here.
I have to guess Bonds.
Yeah.
That
So
seems obvious. Yep.
it's obvious. Crazy steroid years still led the decade. 80.2. It's a big drop off to number 2, which you might be able to guess.
Griffey.
Griffey. So
Yep.
Griffey was a 67.5 because he was doing his defensive thing in this decade. It was the
Right.
next one that was no good. But yeah, Bonds, Griffey, and I love. I'll go ahead and tell you. I'll go ahead and tell you number 5 is Frank. So
Yep.
yeah, I would have put him up there on the top couple of this, but he is actually number 5, and this is the funnest list ever. So 6, you got Larkin, Edgar Martinez, who didn't play the field, which is interesting. So he wasn't adding defensive WAR to this.
Right.
That's amazing. Really, very
is
much.
Is McGuire in the mix?
Nope.
No. Yeah. No defense there.
Then he got Rafi, Larry Walker, and Kenny Lofton. But my favorite thing is number 3 and number 4. So you got Barry Bonds and Griffey. Who is 3 and 4?
Is Bagwell in there?
Bagwell is 3.
It's not Biggio, is it?
Biggio's 4.
Come on, really?
Yes. Bonds, Griffey, Bagwell, Biggio, and then Frank Thomas and all these other guys.
Killer Bees in front of Frank Thomas. How about that?
Killer Bees in front of Frank Thomas, who had the best 7-year stretch in the history of baseball. It's awesome, man. That's just an awesome stat. But it's, stolen bases and stuff. And, Frank eventually didn't play first base and DH'd.
True.
Bagwell got a Gold Glove. But if JT Snow had not moved from the Angels to the Giants, Bagwell would have had a few Gold Gloves. But
yep.
Everybody just voted him every single year. So it was what it was. But yeah, that's the funnest list of the 90s. Bonds, Griffey, Bagwell, Biggio, Thomas. Probably pretty easy to guess the pitcher.
Maddox?
Okay. Of course, that's a great guess. That's number 2.
Clemens?
Yeah.
Yep.
Clemens,
it was going to be one of those two, I figured.
It was going to be one of them. Clemens 68.1, Maddox 65.4. So not like a giant drop off. Then it drops off to 52.9 for David Cone.
David Cone. I would have guessed Randy Johnson, I think, before David Cone.
Exactly my point. Randy was 4. David Cone was 3. And then Kevin Brown, which doesn't surprise me at all because he destroyed all of us. And
he was a beast.
He was the first $100 million guy contract. Yep. Kevin Apier, Glavine, Finley, Messina, Pedro.
Kevin Apier, I wouldn't have gotten either. Actually, that's. Randy.
I know he was number 6. Pedro's number 10. But yeah, Clemens, Maddox, Cone, Johnson. It's fascinating. But I love it. The 90s are great, but it's just funny. I wouldn't have got some of this stuff. All right, 2000s.
It's got to be Pujols, right?
Man, this is the funnest thing ever. It's not. He's number 2.
Bonds?
No, he's number 3.
Oh, man.
I knew this would be the case.
I don't know. It can't be Ichiro, right?
People do not give him respect anymore. He was number 1.
Man.
And you know what Pujols and Bonds were doing in the 2000s.
Right. Man, I don't know. I'm struggling on this one.
A-Rod.
Oh man, yeah, he should have.
Al-
Yeah, he should have come to mind.
Alex Rodriguez was above Pujols and Bonds. Number 4, Helton, and then you got Carlos Beltran just above Ichiro. So Ichiro's
Helton
6.
surprises me too, actually.
Yeah, Helton, number 4, Beltran after him, Ichiro, Chipper, Scott Rowland, my guy, which it's insane that he didn't get more votes, Lance Berkman, literally one of the top 5 or 10 switch hitters of all time. And he
Yep.
fell off the ballot the very first time and had no chance. But yeah, 46.3, number 9 in the 2000s in WAR. And then really shocking, a guy that was an Astro and went to the Phillies and stuff, Bobby Abreu.
Oh, he was great. Yeah, he was a
Number
good player.
10. He was that's kind of amazing to me. All right. 2010s is not even a hard one.
Mike Trout.
Mike Trout.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
So, he started in 11, so he missed a year, still crushed everybody,
Oh, yeah.
72.5. Who do you think number 2 is, though?
Oh man, some of the ones I'm thinking of just got started too late in the decade to probably make the cut. Like Mookie, Mookie Betts, he's not going to be on there. 'Cause
I will tell you he's 10.
So that's
Oh,
impressive. I mean, he made the
playing
top
from
10 and he
14
didn't even debut until
14 to
2014.
He played 14 to 19 and was still number 10.
Hmm.
So Trout's a gimme. Number 2 and 3 are interesting. I will tell you, Beltray was 4.
Huh.
You would never in a billion years guess 5. Number 6 is Cabrera, which makes sense.
Oh, that's good.
Then you got Goldschmidt, Evan Longoria,
Forgot about him.
Buster Posey, and Mookie Betts. But number 2 is Robinson Cano.
Wow.
And number 3 is a guy that should be going to the Hall of Fame, but people say he's not. I don't know, but Joey Votto.
I think he'll make it someday, but
I think
we'll see.
not first ballot maybe, but he should get in. He did enough. But Trout, Cano, and Votto were 1, 2, 3. Beltray makes some sense. But number 5, above Miguel Cabrera, you would never guess. Josh Donaldson.
Oh man, I have not thought of him in years. Yeah.
Years. Josh Donaldson had more WAR in the 2010s than Miguel Cabrera.
Cano is fascinating. He would have he was on a Hall of Fame trajectory. It's just he kind of tarnished his reputation at the end there, which is probably why you don't hear much about him these days. But
that's the problem.
But it's funny though, like Barry Bonds is so widely collected, but nobody talks about Cano at all. Like he's just forgotten. Yeah.
Yeah, it's wild. It's wild. But all right, pitching. It's all right. I can tell you right now, you can get all 3. It's just what order do you get them in?
Yeah, I'm thinking it's Kershaw, Verlander, Scherzer scenario, maybe.
And that is the order.
Nailed it.
That is the order. I didn't know if you'd get the order, but I knew there's only 3 that would be a choice. But
to me, though, that trio is like those are the best 21st century pitchers, like almost unquestionably.
It's just not even close. Those kind of stats of those 3 guys and strikeouts and stuff just aren't going to be ever done again. Of course, Kershaw didn't have that many strikeouts, but the other guys do. But 59.3 WAR, 56.2, 56.1. So Verlander just barely got Scherzer. Then you got Cole Hamels above Chris Sale.
That makes sense. He was dominant for a while.
He was dominant for a while there. So Hamels, Sale, Greinke, David Price, Corey Kluber, Jacob deGrom, of course, because he started in 14.
Right.
So he still got number 9, and then of course our guy we were talking about, Steven Strasburg, number 10.
No way! He made the top 10. I love it.
He played the whole decade. Now, not pitchers or anything, but hitter. In the 2020s, of course, we're only to 2025 now.
It's got to be Ohtani or Judge.
Yeah, but which one?
I'll say Judge.
It's Judge.
Yeah.
Judge leads WAR so far in the decade, even without pitching and everything else. And 50-50 seasons
sense.
And all that kind of stuff. But yeah, that's a fun list, man. I mean, that
was a blast. Yeah, I've only really looked from like 1950 to present, and I've only done like single season leaders. So
season.
Yeah, trying to think through the decades and when guys started, when they wrapped up. That was challenging, but that was a blast.
It's challenging, but then that was super fun. Thank you for doing that with me. But it was I just started thinking about who were the leaders in all these decades, and I finally found it, and I'm like, this is fascinating because some of them make sense. Some of them are like, holy cow, I cannot believe it. Like we know Jack Morris was the winningest pitcher of the '80s, weird stuff like that. But Dave Steve was the guy.
Right?
It's just it's just wild. But WAR is, you and me can't calculate it. It's
Nope.
too complicated. So we just have to trust all these guys. But it's wild to see who was really really good at everything and are kind of forgotten in some cases.
I like it. I know some people are anti-war, and again, it's difficult to explain, but I just like that it's an attempt to normalize across eras and positions. But as we just saw going through that list, it's not a perfect. No one statistic tells the whole story, but that's pretty fascinating.
But it also brings out the talent of some people that were all around players that don't get the credit.
Right.
I mean,
Yeah, I'm gonna go digging through my boxes for Kevin Apier cards after the
Yeah,
episode tonight.
exactly. And Bagwell and Biggio was 3 and 4. I mean, it's just super,
In
super
front of
cool.
Frank Thomas. Yeah.
In front of
Two-time
Thomas.
MVP. Yep.
Even as much as I love those guys, I would have had Thomas. But you got the defensive WAR difference, I guess. But just super fun to do that. So we'll have some similar stuff in future episodes. But the decade one I had to start with because when I started looking at it, I'm like, this is just awesome. This is awesome.
Well, I'm glad you chose
Okay.
something where I didn't embarrass myself the way I did
No,
on
I knew
the
you
last
wouldn't. I
one.
knew you had looked at it enough as far as individual years to make it something that you would like. But I kind of banked on most people don't look at it by decade, and I was curious who were the best of the decade, and I figured you could get that. You kicked butt in that second half, man.
Yeah, that was
The
cool.
early stuff is hard, but you
Some of
still.
those I wouldn't have gotten a million years, the early
I
ones,
know
but yeah.
some of them are just wild, but. Last thing, we got our random appreciating our collections 5 stuff that's been in our collection, not recent pickups. Could be anything. So you want to kick us off with the first one?
Yeah, I figured I would kind of have some synergy here between my 10 cheap ones and my 5 randoms. So I got another Advent buyback. And believe it or not, someone we just talked about.
Nice.
So it kind of matches the Miggy that I started off with. It's another checklist card from 2022 Topps Update. But in this case, it is Clayton Kershaw. Love the bold number 22 there in red on the Dodgers jersey. And this card represents him setting the record for the most strikeouts of any Dodgers pitcher in history. So pretty cool. Just another one of those feat cards. And again, like a $2 or $3 pickup. But I love hunting down these Advent buybacks. It's so fun to see like what cards made it out there into the program and then made it out into the wild or became available on eBay. It's like a total crapshoot as far as what they select for this. So this was just a cool, cheap one that popped up. I don't have enough Kershaw in my collection, or I wish I had a better representation of Kershaw. So this was a fun way to get a unique card of his that you don't see every day for pretty much pocket change.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I don't have a lot. And he's a class act guy too, so I'm just a fan.
Yeah, and
One.
I think what hobby-wise, what elevates him above the other two guys that were right in the mix with him, like Kershaw and Verlander, is just that sticking with the same team your whole career, and how rare that is in modern sports. He definitely gets bonus points in the hobby for that. And then, of course, winding down your career with consecutive World Series championships before you hang up the spikes probably doesn't hurt either. So
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. He's of course he's got a couple of Stadium Club cards that are pretty amazing.
100%. Yep.
I
I think
still
it's
don't
the
have.
2020 that shows it's a really zoomed out photo, and he's on the mound at Dodger
Oh,
Stadium, and you see the palm trees up in the background.
yeah.
That is a killer card. Yep.
And then you got the World Series Clydesdales.
Yep.
So he's got two killer cards on Stadium Club. But mine is also a buyback, so of course you have teed me up again. Speaking of guys that should be in the Hall of Fame that don't get any credit, one of the only 300 guys ever, I found the 91 Leaf gold buyback number to 5 of Steve
Ooh,
Finley, my
nice.
guy. So, yeah.
He's got to take bunting lessons from Ozzie Smith, I think.
I know, exactly. And he was a speedster too. Yeah, I mean, like, you used to be Willie Mays was the only 300 guy, and Finley's one of the only 5 or 6 still. And plus, he got like 10 Gold Gloves. I mean, the guy was ridiculously good.
I love that you collect and appreciate his cards, because he's one of those people where it's like a crime how much of a difference there is between his talent level and then the amount of respect that he gets in the hobby. Like it just
Yeah,
doesn't make sense. I don't
it
hear
doesn't.
anybody other than you talk about or show Steve Finley cards here on
Yeah,
YouTube. So
it doesn't correlate. And once again, it may be he played for a whole bunch of teams, but that's just because a whole bunch of teams wanted him. But he just, yeah, he didn't stick around with some big. If he was a Yankee in his whole career, I mean,
Oh
he'd be
yeah.
taught, he'd be legendary. It just he was that good. Um, yeah, but tops 85. He was talking the other day about Bonds, and you had something with Steve Finley as a giant on a card, and I chimed into the to the notes there. I'm like, no man, you need to look him up. He was awesome. And one of his last videos, he's like, man, I looked him up, and he was awesome. He literally did it all from the field to hitting stolen bases, everything. But yeah, of course, I'm a big fan of 90 and 91 Leaf, but to find the gold memories buyback to 5, it's pretty tough.
Yeah, those are killer. I've got a few, but nobody. I don't think I have anyone of that caliber. But awesome buyback. And I know you're a huge fan of those early Leaf sets. That card is in the perfect collection right there.
Yeah, no doubt.
So this is another one. I just got this in. I got my latest ComC shipment like a day or two ago, and this was a card that I'm pretty sure I paid 50 cents for a few weeks back. But this is from the 2025 Panini Prism release.
Yes,
And this is the
yes.
Monty Irvin card. And I got this to put into my Negro Leagues Z Folio album that I'm building out.
Yeah.
This isn't strictly a Negro Leagues Prism card because he is listed here with San Francisco or with New York. Sorry, with the New York Giants, but just a really awesome image. I love the multiple bats over the shoulder. That
Tons of bats.
gets me every time. So
I love it.
and this is just the basic like a silver or prism, which is basically the refractor, the plain
Yeah.
refractor. It's not numbered. You can get all different. I mean, the way Panini does it, there's probably 40 different parallels of this card, but just went basic here. It's going to go into an album and a binder just to be enjoyed, and it looks fantastic. So
Yeah, the silver prisms are like we talked about, are almost like 90s refractors. I mean, they're really good shine, not numbered, but just great looking cards.
yeah, and somebody who had things worked out a little bit differently, might have been much more known to baseball fans today than he even is. Just with the way things worked out with integration and his age and him just not being ready. And so, yeah, just a fascinating story.
Yeah, no doubt. This next one I'm showing because you showed something the other day with Sadaharu O getting the 756. This is a BBM card. This is showing 800, and it's just so cool with all the fog from the fireworks and stuff, and then you got the scoreboard in the background and him doing a bow, giving his speech at the microphone. But it's just
I have looked at that exact card a few times in recent weeks because that image is incredible.
And you got the flamingo stance shadow over here, and the back is super fantastic too. It's in color, so you got him
Love it.
with all the roses and stuff. Just super cool to have that. But that is a cool card.
I love those. That's very similar to the one I showed. It makes it look like the scoreboard is about 80 stories tall, and it's all smoky and foggy.
Yeah, that's just awesome. That's an awesome card, and it is cheap. Our random 5 isn't necessarily 25 or under, but that is. It's just not an expensive card.
You're leading me along beautifully here because the next one in my stack is also a BBM card from Nippon Professional Baseball. This one's much more recent, but this is a 2022, and it is Yoshinobu Yamamoto, who just had that incredible World Series championship. And this is a parallel. So they do these in, I think, for quite a while now, going back maybe 15 or 20 years. They have like these facsimile signature parallels.
Yeah. Yep.
So there's a few different versions. This is the gold, which you can see here. These are serial numbered out of 100. You won't be able to make it out because it's kind of buried in the stats on the back, but these are serial numbered to 100. And then there's like a hollow that's numbered to 50 and some others. But picked this up during the playoffs this past year because I was really inspired by the performance this guy was putting in, not just in the World Series, but really the whole way there. And he is like a class act of a human being, or seems to be. I even saw videos of him, like he would go out and pitch like a complete game shutout, and then he'd be cleaning up the dugout, at the end of the game before the team went in. Just an awesome guy, and what he did in the World Series and throughout the postseason is just something that I think we'll be talking about for a long time to come. Almost like Don Larson and 56 or other performances like that. I mean, just there's almost no way they would have won the World Series without this guy in the rotation. And I've become kind of fascinated with some of his overseas cards from his time in Japan prior to coming over here to the States. And he won 3 consecutive triple crowns in Nippon professional baseball, 21, 21, 22, and 23. And so this is the middle year of that 3-year run where he was essentially the most dominant pitcher over there by a long shot. So
Just unbelievable. Yeah. And you got a 10?
yeah, this was so these are tough to find. So this is just like the copy that went up at auction. And believe it or not, I'll keep it brief, but there is a backstory behind this. I think I had mentioned to you a while back that I had a couple of cards of his that were lost in the ether. They showed as delivered. They never showed up. I ended up having to do a case with eBay. It was a whole drawn out process, took 2 or 3 weeks, and they gave me my money back. So fast forward, this was 5 or 6 weeks ago. I get home this past Monday, 3 days ago from work, and there's a box on my front step, and I open it up, and it's this card that has been who knows where for the last 6 weeks. So now I feel bad. I got to do the right thing. I need to go back to eBay now tomorrow or this weekend with my tail between my legs and basically say, you gave me a refund, and now the card showed up, and hopefully I can just pay the seller or repay the seller at this point. But I thought this card was lost. I've had cards that show up a day or two after they say they're delivered, but I've never had one that shows up 6 weeks after it says it was delivered. So
no, it's a nightmare, but that's awesome. That's a great card. Yeah, and in the Japanese cards, and shout out to Ken, God is great. But yeah, the facsimile signatures over there are almost as good as a signature. I mean, it's a kind of a big deal on those cards, and the hollow is kind of the really good one. The gold is amazing. It's just they're a big deal, even though we view them a little differently here with facsimile signatures. They can be on every 82 Topps card or whatever. It's just no big deal. But on those, the parallels, they're really special, and to have a 10 with the gold of him is super cool. I have a couple of his cards, but nothing that awesome. That's super cool. All right, we got 3 more. All right, so this one's just a super rare card of Ricky that most people don't know about, and that's why I wanted to show it again. But the 1993 World Series champion Blue Jays, they made a special card in O-Pee-Chee for these guys. I'll show you the back. It's got a really beautiful gold stamp on the back of these. But Ricky is the big card in this set, and there's just not a whole heck of a lot of them. This one's in pretty decent shape. It's not perfect with the corner, but that's just the way these are. But a World Series champion, Ricky, just a super cool card the way he did it. And you got the red foil at the bottom and all the World Series champion stuff in the back. Ricky there on the base paths, of course. But just a card you don't see every day.
No, I don't think I've seen that one. And it's a very Fleer card, too, from the mid-'90s. They were like always so busy and so much going on, but it works. Yeah. It looks good.
Looks really good. But this was only in Canada. It wasn't an O-Pee-Chee like O-Pee-Chee Premier or something that came here. It was only there. So back in these days, I had no idea this existed.
Right.
It's just one of those things. I had no clue. But he's the big one. It still goes for like $70 or something raw. It's just,
wow.
Yeah. But you wouldn't even want to grade these. These are all usually chipped up and stuff. This one's pretty clean except for a little corner wear. But just a really cool card. Shout out to Dean again. But that's an awesome Ricky.
Yeah, we've talked about before, before the internet, those of us that have been around a while, like you could only get what you could find, among your childhood friends or at the local hobby shop. Like you weren't going to find a card from Canada. You just weren't.
Didn't even know they existed. And of course, Beckett's weren't carrying those, so you just didn't know they existed. So super cool.
This next one I think is awesome. This just came in a few days ago. It's a guy that I admire. I've learned a lot about the past couple of years, but this is Bob Motley, and he was an umpire in the Negro Leagues, and he got a card on the 2008 Allen and Ginter checklist, and it depicts him here. He was famous for being like a flamboyant, very dramatic umpire. He would jump up in the air like this for out calls, and when he would call a guy safe, he would do like a full split on the ground, during his safe call. Just a really dramatic guy, but somebody who is like a really admirable person just in life. Like he was a veteran. He fought in the World War II, and in fact, the reason he got into umpiring, he was shot in the foot. He was injured during combat during World War II, and when he was resting and recovering at the military hospital, he heard a game of baseball being played out his window or across the way. Kind of hobbled over there on his crutches while he was recovering, and decided he wanted to get into trying to umpire and starting to do some umpiring. And then from there, he went on to be an umpire in the Negro Leagues for a long time. And he was actually the last surviving umpire, or from the Negro Leagues back in like the 2010s, early 2010s. So in 2008, Topps gave him this card on the Allen and Ginter checklist, and then this is actually just like an in-person or a TTM auto
Okay.
that I
Okay.
picked up on eBay. It lines up with all of his other signatures. I'm pretty confident it was a $20 pickup. I don't think anyone's forging Bob Motley autographs, but yeah, it's got he signs his name and then he signs umpire just below it, which is
Just below.
cool.
That's so
And
cool.
I've talked about it before, but I just love anytime I see one of these, I just imagine how the subject must have felt when they finally got a card when they were like a 90-year-old man, and just thinking that he was able to see that and that somebody took the time. Not only did he get a card, but the fact that someone wanted him to autograph their copy must have shown him that there was some importance or somebody who cared about him and his career. And I just think that's like one of the coolest things. This was, again, like a $20 pickup, and it's going to go right into that tribute album that I'm building to the Negro Leagues. But just somebody, you can go read like his Saber biography, but he led a really fascinating life. He was instrumental in getting like the Negro Leagues Museum opened as well out in Missouri. So yeah, just an awesome subject, cheap autograph, and good binder material.
Yeah, that is really cool, especially for a non-athlete. I mean, yeah, I really am curious how they obtained that. Maybe he TTM'd, but if he didn't, it'd be really interesting if he got to do some shows and get to see some love from some people. That would be
Yeah, and
super, super cool.
he has an actual pack issued auto in the same release where it's the framed mini, and I have that one. But to me, this has almost like a cooler backstory because it just has that extra level of like a fan actually
Oh yeah.
appreciating it enough that they brought the card to him to have it autographed. So
Oh no, that's way better, and that's just super cool. He's like Frank Drebin, Naked Gun level, doing splits and stuff.
exactly.
That's how you want to umpire right there. It makes it memorable. That's just super cool. This next one is unusual. It's a non-sport card, and I don't have hardly any non-sport cards. But Dylan talks about how he first collected movie cards before he collected baseball cards and stuff. And I never put the two together, but so did I. So yeah, so 1990, I got into baseball cards, all that stuff. I never put two and two together. I bought cards in packs with bubble gum, put sets together in 1989. Can you guess why that would be?
Man, I'm like trying to think back to the era like Ghostbusters or something, or
Getting close, but there was way something bigger in 1989.
Batman.
Bingo.
Are you
I
kidding
went.
me? You also chose a Batman
Oh,
card?
yes.
What are the odds?
I I was a Batman 89 maniac. Like the shirts, the hats, poster, whatever. I mean, and I bought packs and built all the sets of cards and stickers, all that kind of stuff. Now that I think about it, I wonder if that primed me to collect baseball cards the next year when I started getting into that. I hadn't thought about it in so many decades that I literally never put it together. But I thought about it the other day, and I'm like, okay, I actually put that whole set together. I think I put it in pages. I mean, I was obsessed with this. I mean, I went to watch the movie. I don't know how many times, but
It's so good. Yep,
people forget that's the best Batman ever.
I
But
agree.
people forget what a big deal it was. People would buy tickets to other movies just to watch the preview because you didn't have it on anything else. It's not
Right,
like today where you can watch everything on YouTube and everything else. They would watch the preview of Batman and leave. They wouldn't even watch the movie. They wouldn't watch the movie they paid for. It was that big of a deal. Absolutely ridiculous. Well, I found this one. This is a PSA 8 1989 Batman movie sticker, and this is the one I wanted. This is number 38. But to me,
nice.
it's the coolest symbol logo of anything ever. And this is the first time we had this. I mean, we had the Batman Adam West 66. That can't be. That's all we had until this, except for
Right,
some cartoons or something. But to get something that's sick looking like this, and they're kind of taking it a little more serious,
right.
just blew my mind. And this was the coolest thing I'd ever seen when this came out. So instead of getting a card of Batman or Joker or something else, which those guys did amazing jobs in that movie, but this is what it was to me. Me and my cousin Brian were buying everything in the store, knockoff stuff, whatever. Anything that had this on it, we were buying it. But I did put these together in a set out of packs in 1989. So the year before I collected baseball cards, I never put the two together. And of course,
And
he's
that,
got the
that
puzzle
that
back.
logo was a big part of the opening credits of the film too. And yeah, that was an early-ish Tim Burton movie too. He did a great
Yes.
job with that.
He kicked butt, and of course you had the Batwing flying up to the moon and doing this. But that symbol with just the metallic look, all that kind of stuff, was the coolest thing ever. The movie was the coolest thing ever. My brother hadn't married his wife yet at that point, and she worked at a theater, and she got us in for free, and we got to go watch the movie for the first time all together and stuff. And it was the greatest. But I never
We had
thought
a
about
home
it.
recorded copy of that. 'Cause, back then everybody would have their VCR and you'd have an HBO subscription. You'd try to hit the record button right when it's starting on a blank tape, and we just about wore that thing out, my brothers and I. And I still watch that movie probably every 2 to 3 years, and it holds up even all these years later.
It's fantastic. It will always be my favorite. But yeah, that just dawned on me a few weeks ago. Like, I collected cards, and not only that, I bought packs, made sets the year before I got into baseball cards. Never thought about the two together. So me and Dylan both collected movie cards before baseball cards. Hadn't even thought about it.
I love it, and I love the odd. Like, what are the odds that we would each have a Batman card in today's episode without knowing it? So love
Exactly.
it.
Well, and my next one ties in with it. So
Perfect. All right. Well, this is my finale. I mentioned I haven't been buying much lately, but I did get one really nice card this month, and it just came in the mail today. So I was kind of looking around like last minute trying to grab my 5 randoms. I'm like, you know what? Let's just go for it. No time like the present. So got the
oh,
2022 Gilded. This was the first year that they did Gilded, the Ken Griffey Jr. This is just the base card, but even the base cards are numbered to 99. I've talked about this set a ton in the past, so I'll keep it brief, but just a killer design, super limited set. Absolutely love these cards. First year that they did it, so it has a little bit extra kind of element to it there. And what really sold me on this one, the reason I went for it, I'm a sucker for this, but this is also a uniform number serial match, so it's number 24 of 99, which to me makes it kind of the coolest copy of all the 99 base cards that are up there. And I've just been, ever since, first getting into the hobby in 1990 and seeing his rookie cup card in 90 tops and him being kind of the biggest name in the hobby, he's just always been somebody that I gravitate to, and I think will always be a hobby great, despite his declining defensive WAR later in his career. So
yeah. I almost wish I hadn't seen that, but it was just one of those things like, wow, that's fascinating. But yeah, what a great shot of him. Of course, those gilded cards are just beautiful.
I can't get enough. Yeah.
No, you can't get enough. All right, my last one ties in with that last one just a bit. It is a brand new card, but 2025 Leaf, and they have something called Bronx Legacy. It's an all Yankees set, and ridiculous amounts of different autographs and different designs and jerseys. You know how they do it. But there's one in particular that just caught my eye, and I have to have it. Now, this is probably the least rare one. This is the numbered to 50 kind of bronze colored one, but I got the Hitman Don Mattingly here. I'll show you the back first. Hitman Don Mattingly here on the Leaf, and it's a super duper thick card. It's got three patches, not patches, but three pieces of jersey. But the Hitman and Batman all in one.
Oh man.
Giving Gotham greats, giving him the call out there. And the kind of bronze color to
How
me
awesome is that?
was just like, man, this just is super, super cool. The Hitman and the Batman, I love this design. You got the cityscape in the background. You got this foreground with the buildings, different color jerseys. You got the dark blue and the gray. And just awesome sky with, ominous clouds of Gotham. And then the call out and Mattingly right there with his head in the circle. I'm just like, I had to have one of these. And when I saw the copper, even though it's not the rarest version, still only 50 of them.
A lot of thought went into producing and designing that card. I love it.
So when I knew I was going to show this, I'm like, yeah, that's going to be my last one, because that's a tie-in to Batman with the Hitman, and couldn't be any cooler. Couldn't be any cooler. So I just have fun with baseball cards, guys. I know it's not investment. It's just super, super awesome looking stuff that I love.
Honestly, well said, and that's like the perfect card to wind the episode up on, or wind down with, because they've done so many releases like that in the last couple of years, Leaf, that are just completely off the beaten path. The strangest things that you would never think of in a million years, but they're just fun. They're fun to collect.
They're just super fun. Wild card and them just doing some fun stuff. I mean, I'm freaking buying Nolan Ryan dinosaur cards for God's sake. I mean, it's just you combine two things that I love together and put it on something, I'm probably going to do it. Whether it's a T-shirt or whatever, it's you find a mashup that's just kind of perfect for you. You just want it. But that's it. That's our random appreciating our collections 5. We showed 10 less than 25, and we did some amazing trivia of the decades of war leaders. And that was super fun. It has been a couple months. It is awesome to catch up with you and be able to do this again. Hopefully we won't have to skip too many other months, but you never know.
No, we'll get one in January.
Well, yeah, we'll get one in there. But I really appreciate it, and I appreciate you taking the time, and just love doing this. It's just super fun. I know we go an hour and a half and all that, but I could go all night if it wasn't for people not ever watching it.
Same here. Highlight of my week. So always good to see you, buddy.
It really is. Great, buddy. Thank you, everybody out there, for watching. We really appreciate you. We really do. That's what it's all about to us, is hanging out with our friends. So thank you, Shane. Thank you, everybody. We'll see you on the next one.
Take care.